It's Colleen Schmidt from Divination Counseling Service here today to present the sign of Capricorn for July 2021. So if you're a Capricorn Sun, a Capricorn Ascendant, or a Capricorn Moon, you might want to tune in. There could be a message here for you today. Before I begin, I'd like to take a moment for gratitude. I want to thank you, first of all, for watching this video. I'd also like to thank all of my subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, I would hope that you might want to become one. So if you would, like, share, comment, I would really appreciate it. So we're going to be looking at the sign of Capricorn using the Rider Waite Deck, and we're going to be doing a Celtic cross that I then grab 3 cards as clarifiers to close it off and create a Celtic block. When I'm finished, I'll come back and we'll go through the list of asteroids that will be running through the sign of Capricorn in the month of July 2021. In order to pin those asteroids down, we're going to be using the July 9th, 2021 new moon chart. So let's step up and see what we have here for the sign of Capricorn. So as always, we're going to allow the cards to choose our significator. So I'm just going to set us up here. Just a few more shuffles. I've been shuffling. Shuffling, for anyone who does the cards, is the way we purify them. So let's see what the cards have to offer us today. Okay, so I'm looking at Capricorn for the month of July 2021. They feel pretty good. So the first card, or the significator for Capricorn, is somebody's overwhelmed. Now, this could be somebody around you who is overwhelmed. It could be a male, doesn't have to be, because it is just, this could even be a business that's booming. But you get the sense of being overwhelmed. The other thing you get from the wand in reverse is a sense of dishonesty, that somewhere along the line, people are not being honest. Hopefully not you, Capricorn, but perhaps someone around you. You might be overwhelmed because somebody else is not completely honest. So let's see what the rest of the cards hold. Of course, if the card were upright, I should give you a moment on that. It would be a supportive, networking type of cheerleader, individual, or situation. So what crosses? An abuse of power. Okay, so it looks like someone is abusing their power, Capricorn. And again, I'm hoping it's not you, but it's probably someone you're dealing with. And they're overwhelmed, they're not very honest, and this card indicates a need for change because it's gotten stressful as it's gotten out of hand. The foundation of the card reading is that foundations laid, speaking of foundations, have not brought desired results. Upright, they would have brought desired results, but upside down, the best laid plans, as they say, have not worked out. So it's been rather tough for Capricorns. What you're coming from, what's leading through, is some new beginnings that make your heart happy. So this could be, even if it were to take place at work, whatever the new beginning is, it makes you feel better. And that's where you're coming from. What crowns it is that you're coming to the end of a cycle and you're overburdened and overwhelmed because other people have left the consequences of their actions fall on your shoulders in this particular reading with that card upside down. Upright, it's a burden, it's a heavy load, but you're doing well with it. Upside down, I believe it's an abuse. Just as the 5 of Swords was also an abuse in this situation. The fact that this card is a 10 is also kind of an indication that it's the end of a cycle. But it is about not being able to use your talent, skills, and ability in a way that benefits you or what it is you're doing. This is really about people that let the burden fall on the shoulders of others. And as a result, people are not able to use their talent, skills, and abilities to their own highest good. What's in front of you is delays. Okay. I always like to point out that the page does not indicate a cancellation, but it does indicate delays. So this could be news that's coming to you that is speaking to delays directly. Okay. So there's some things that are delayed for you in July, Capricorn. What you bring, well, we had an overwhelmed man to start the reading. Now we have an overwhelmed woman. But this can also be, again, a woman who is not honest, a woman who embellishes. It could be how the truth has been embellished, period, with this card. Doesn't even have to be a female or a male. But you definitely get the sense you're not getting the truth and you are overwhelmed as a result. The external circumstances are that there is some good news concerning money. That somewhere along the line, there is some good news and support regarding money, or having support with regards to money. So that's actually helping. It's like the Ace of Cups. The hopes, the wishes, yeah, that you're setting yourself up for the future. I definitely call that a hope, but the hope is that with everything that's going on, that you really are, Capricorn, helping yourself set up for the future. That's actually very nice too. What was originally bringing you happiness has now been very disappointing. So despite the fact that you are setting yourself up from the future, there is a lot that you do not trust about this situation, and with good reason. You were really happy about this. You thought this was going to be great, and then it turned out to be very disappointing. Right side up, of course, being the celebration card. You're not celebrating, you're disappointed with that. You were celebrating. You thought it was great, but it was disappointing. Okay. So, kind of a mixed reading so far. It's almost like things are happening for you, Cap, but it feels like there's some delays on some new beginnings, although it started, and we can tell because you are laying foundations for your new beginning. But it's almost, and there's money around it, but it just feels like delays and setbacks also plague you at the same time. So grabbing 3 more cards. The first card is for me to tell you that it's futile, that there are some aspects of what's going on right now that are futile. They are what they are, and it's almost as though you have to contend with them because they're part of moving forward into that future that you're creating. It's just futile. It is what it is. It's the way it is. The second card tells me that you are committed to seeing this through. There's a great deal of commitment in this, despite the overload, despite the people that you may not trust. I do believe you're very committed to seeing it through. There's a great deal of commitment in that card. And the best part of this in the whole reading is that there's nothing going on that you don't see, know about, or understand. Everything is clear to you when this card is upside down. If it were upright, it would be talking about a lack of clarity, a disillusion, illusions, but there are none of those. You see very clearly what I'm discussing in this card reading. And I kind of like, as a reader, I kind of like seeing this card because it does mean that who's ever listening to this video probably understands exactly what I'm talking about. Again, I believe it's the end of a cycle. It's just not really over yet. It's a burden. You're in the burden of that cycle still. And it gets worse because other people tend to bring you more hassle or more troubles or more, because they are not taking, this is generally just holding on to things even when you know you shouldn't. Okay. Even though when you know it's the end of the line and you should move on, you don't. So there's a lesson in all of that. But the good news is there will be some happiness of a personal nature that you're also dealing with at the same time, which looks really good. So at this point, let's go ahead and see what additional messages we can get from the asteroids. Got my paper sitting here in front of me. And like the first thing I want to say, Capricorn, is, and this makes sense. Well, from an astrologer point of view, it makes sense. The asteroids in this sign, just like Sagittarius, the sign before you, and Aquarius, the sign after you, these are the signs that are more representation of the winter time. And this is the summer time. So a lot of times, like for example, I'm looking at Capricorn, but the new moon is in Cancer, the opposite of you. And a lot of times what that means is that this isn't really your best time of year, that there could even be a little bit of a lower energy. You may be feeling that things are slightly off kilter. There could be even an inner feeling of dissatisfaction, though there may be no real reason to feel that way, not in the larger picture. Now, we do know from your cards that there could be some angst about how things aren't working out the way that you thought they would, or that you were really happy about circumstances that ultimately then disappointed you. That also speaks to the retrogrades. It talks about how right now it's really important that, first of all, there's a big focus on family and buildings. So a lot of what I could be talking about with you here today, my Capricorn friend, could be related more to personal matters or family matters. It is possible that buildings are involved with this trans-Neptunian. But it just feels like things are really rather serious right now. And it could even be related to an animal, a pet in particular, but a feeling that you don't want to be made a fool out of. And it has something to do with the family. You don't want to be in that position. I do believe that there are opportunities for you. And the cards kind of indicate that too, with the Sun and the Page of Pentacles and that Ace of Cups, that there are opportunities for you. And one of the opportunities might be to teach or mentor others. It might be for you to seek out your own teacher or your own mentor, okay? But you definitely get a feeling that all is not lost and that there are opportunities here in all of this. But one of the reasons why it doesn't feel that great sometimes is because Pluto is in Capricorn, at least for a little while yet. And actually it retrograde back to 25. Well, it's almost 26. But you get this attitude that things are transforming all around you and you do not have control over this. That Pluto is the great reminder that we don't have control over everything. It also means that you want to get your money in order, particularly debts and bills. It talks about how in Capricorn energy, a lot of the Plutonian factors, and Plutonian factors are things like power trips, manipulations. A lot of them seem to be happening in the evening hours or at night. So here we go with family again. Unless you work evenings or you work nights, but it looks like those things are happening. And it talks about how you don't want to be put into a position where you're enabling people, but you, through this Pluto, sometimes it happens without your realization. It's like you find yourself in these positions and you're almost questioning, how did we get here? So you have to look at that, because it talks about service people and being of service, but it also refers to the fact that people have a way of enabling others. And it might be that if somebody works for you and they are able to take advantage of you, then you have enabled them. So it's just stuff like that. It could also be that service people or people that work for you are highlighted this month and they will come to your attention. And this could even be going to the restaurant and having somebody wait on you. There's a lot of highlight around that. It also talks about how when things get really tough, instead of getting emotional, it would be, because with retrogrades it doesn't really help. Instead of getting all kinds of emotional, it might be better for you to take a moment and meditate, pray, go within. Try to get a better bearing on yourself as a way to get a better handle on what's going on around you. Pluto makes it so you really don't feel like you're in charge. And the only thing that you have left to do is give it to spirit. And in order to do that, you might want to pray or meditate or listen to what spirit has to tell you, which would be meditation. And I definitely feel that that can be extremely helpful to you in this particular month. It will give you more direction because you really do have some things beginning that are pretty wonderful around you. And it would be better if you could really see those things and maybe really reflect on those things rather than Pluto's domain where you don't really have a lot of control. In the meantime, watch out for the power struggles and the manipulations that come with Pluto. And the funny part about Pluto, when it's gone, you're going to miss him because that's how it works. As hard as it is, as ridiculous as he is when he's running over your sun, you're going to miss him when he's not there. I speak from experience. In any event, I hope that was helpful. With that said, take care of yourself. Be well. Thank you for watching this video. And most importantly, until we meet again, I wish you only happy readings.